Hello Zainey friends, and welcome to another makeup and a movie where I do the makeup
and I talk about a movie.
And today we are talking about
Deadpool.
And I am Laney, and this is my side geek Chris, and today's makeup look is going to be based on the revealed Smoky palette from Coastal Scents, as well as the NYX High Voltage lipstick. That looks like this. So if you're interested in hearing more about Deadpool and seeing how I did this look, just keep watching. Okay, so for my look today, I'm going to be using the revealed Smoky palette from Coastal Scents. And basically, everything else that I've used on my look is going to be down in the description bar so that you can see everything I used. However, I did want to bring up that I just today used this. I just picked it up at Target, and it's the new Wet n Wild Ombre blush, and it is in the shade In a Purple Haze, which I actually really like it. It's very faint and kind of purpley, very fresh. You can kind of see a little bit of it here. So I'm kind of excited for that. I just wanted to kind of show you guys. So anyway, for this look that we're doing, I am using this palette right here. And what I think I'm going to start off with is I'm going to use this kind of a like a yellowish brown, light brown color on my lids. And then in the crease, I'm going to be using like this color, probably right here, just to start off with. And we're going to build up the color from there as we go. And then we're going to talk about Deadpool.
So Deadpool, it's a superhero-ish kind of movie, but not in the traditional sense. He's not really a hero. He's got his own agenda, and he doesn't really care about anybody else and their problems too much, unless they're going to pay him. That's pretty much all he cares about. This movie, it's like most first superhero movies where it's going to be kind of telling you how he became, how he is currently as the movie starts. So it's like an origin story, but at the same time it's kind of, you know, his first big baddie that he's dealing with, kind of. And so you get that, you get to kind of learn about him a bit. As someone like me who went into this movie and I never read anything about him, I knew of him, and I knew, you know, that he's kind of like making fun of other comics in his comics. He, you know, breaks the fourth wall and things of that nature. That's about all I knew. So the movie was really great that you didn't have to know anything about him or his universe or really anything like that, and you could still enjoy the movie, I felt. I mean, you didn't know anything about him, really.
I knew nothing about Deadpool. I knew he was kind of funny and irreverent, but I didn't know a whole lot about him, no.
Yeah, but you didn't feel like you had to know anything, right?
No, not at all.
So, yeah, you don't really have to know him much to enjoy it. The humor in the movie is going to be that a lot of wisecracking, dirty jokes, double, triple entendres.
This is not a family movie. Do not
language.
take your children to go see this movie.
Elderly and children.
Unless your elderly is like Betty White elderly, you're okay. Yeah. But do not, no. And if you are easily offended, do not go see this movie. I mean, a lot of people I think were going thinking, oh yeah, it's a Marvel movie, and you know, it's gonna be great because it's another superhero. No.
Yeah. And the first few minutes of this movie, you're automatically like kind of thrown in to this, I don't want to say battle sequence really, but it's kind of like that, where he's in this car beating up all these bad guys, and they end up on the highway and everything, and all the stuff that's happening there, the blood and the guts and all that stuff that's happening, it sets you up for the rest of that movie, where you're like, whoa, okay, know what I'm getting into, the language and the gore and things like that, because if you get past those first few minutes and then you say you're surprised by any of it, the rest of the movie you were not paying attention.
That is so true. That is so true. Okay, I think I want to kind of smoke this look out a little bit. You can always tell I already have kind of a dramatic eye thing going, but I really think I want to put like some of this little purple. This is the second to last one on the top there. I'm going to add that to my crease as well. And then what I think I'm going to do is put a little bit of this yellow on the lid, which I'm going to be using to represent, what is her name? There's a character in this, we'll get back to her. Like, there's a character in this that, yeah, and she has a name and I can never remember what it is, and has been driving me crazy all morning. All right.
So yeah, the movie, it kind of goes back and forth at the beginning between this like situation that's happened currently and how he got to where he is at that point. So you kind of learned about how he met this woman and fell in love with her.
Yeah, Vanessa.
Okay.
Vanessa.
So yeah.
It played by oh my gosh, why am I blanking on everyone's name? She is from Marina Baccarin.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
she is from
Marina
Firefly.
Baccarin. Oh yeah. Okay. Got it. She had kind of the same role. And then she was like a
yes.
lady that's paid for services. So
She's a prostitute. Just say it. She's a prostitute. Call it what it is.
So she's the lady of the night. Yeah. So they run into each other. Wade Wilson and Vanessa, and they end up falling in love. And then he ends up finding out he has cancer, and it's a big thing. So he kind of is like, I'm just gonna run off and join this program that's gonna cure me. Then of course the program has dark intentions.
Definitely.
So they, you know, they experiment and things like that, and what they're trying to do is like find people and turn them into mutants.
Yeah, no, they auction them off to people.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like if someone wants a mutant for hire, then they make these mutants and then they sell them off.
Okay. So, yeah, they fall in love. He gets in this program. He's not happy with what's happening to him. Some pretty nasty stuff ends up happening to him.
Kind of gross.
And he sets out for revenge on this guy that did all this stuff to him, whose name is Francis. So he sets out for him, and it's a mix of hilarious hijinks and gore, violence,
swearing,
language,
nudity,
and IKEA furniture.
And IKEA furniture. We're not going to spoil why that is, but that kind of is what happened. Okay, so like I said, I'm putting in this yellow on my eyelid and then underneath my brow bone, which represents a superhero. Now, before I tell you about superhero girl, what surprised me about this is the fact that they bring in some X-Men, which I wasn't really expecting. I mean, I knew it was a Marvel movie, but I wasn't really expecting like an X-Men crossover. Yeah, and they bring in Colossus and this girl whose name is Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Yes.
Yes. Very hard to remember. But anyway, so I'm using yellow because her outfit, and I guess the X-Men's outfit, you know, they're yellow. So I'm using that in here to kind of represent it. So far, that is what my eye look is. You know, I just kind of want to do something, you know, smoky, something that was a little, like, you know, Deadpool. Which they do also explain why he's called Deadpool, which is interesting to me. Anyway, so I'm going to be using Mr. Right Now. This is by TheBalm. I got this in my Ipsy bag, I think last month, and it's kind of this really nice, like, goldy color, which I'm going to be using in my waterline. And then for eyes, I am going to be using this little bit. This was an e.l.f. eyebrow lifter and filler, so I did use this on my eyebrows on one side, and the other side has this really nice, like, white, creamy highlight, which I'm going to use right under my under eyes now that I'm done with my eyes. For liquid liner, I'm using the e.l.f. Extra Thick Ink Eyeliner for kicks, and then this new mascara that I just got and haven't used it yet, which is the Revlon Ultimate All-in-One Mascara, which looks, oh my goodness, I haven't even seen what this thing looks like, and it's weird. That is what it looks like. See how tiny that is? Anyway, we're going to try that. Let's see how that looks. Let's talk about X-Men and...
X-Men. Yeah, if you're familiar with X-Men, you're going to get some of the references in this too, because as a lot of the movie does, it's definitely self-aware of the whole superhero movie thing that's happening right now.
Exactly.
So it makes fun of that, and then the X-Men end up coming in. Though it's only two of the members of X-Men. It is Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead. I had to look at her name over here. And I've never heard of her before, but I heard of Colossus before, watching X-Men as a kid. And so it was cool to have kind of like this other franchise, in a way, kind of come in and get involved in the situation that was happening in Deadpool. Their powers definitely made some hilarious moments in the movie with, like, Colossus when he first shows up with Deadpool, and Deadpool's kind of ticked that he shows up and gets in a bit of a fight with him, and it doesn't work out in Deadpool's favor, and that ends up hilarious. And then Negasonic Teenage Warhead, you don't really see what her powers are till later in the movie, which those were pretty awesome powers.
They are pretty awesome powers.
I thought that was really cool, and kind of wish there was like, I don't know, it made me want more from what was happening with all of them.
Right.
So I'm definitely excited to see if anything else later comes up with those characters. Other characters in the movie were all really good too. You had TJ Miller, who you might know from Silicon Valley, and he's always like kind of that guy in a bunch of movies. He's that again in this movie. He's a bartender.
That guy.
Yeah. He's there's like a group of actors that they're always like that guy or that chick that you'll see in a movie, and you'll be like, they're always like that other person in a movie. Like what's her name? Judy
Greer.
Yes, she's always like that chick. She even like wrote a book about it. So yeah, he's in it. You have this blind woman that he calls like his Robin to his Batman, which there's a pretty funny joke with that. They're like roommates, which is really funny. Then yeah, Vanessa, she's really cool in this too, as kind of his counterpart, girlfriend and everything. Someone that definitely can match wits with him, so to say, you know, like they're
kind of the same type person, really.
Yeah.
They're both kind of crass. They're both, you know, kind of seedy underworld. You know,
but not, and that's the thing too about both of them, is that they're definitely both crass and rude and all these things, but you end up liking them a lot. Like they're not off-putting.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so I like that a lot about Deadpool. I have to say that was probably one of my worries about the movie, was like, I was just gonna, like, I'm not a prude. I don't mind, you know, crass humor. I like that stuff sometimes, but sometimes, to be honest, I'm just like, this is stupid. This is just going for,
or over the top, you know, for the sake of the crass joke.
Exactly, and it wasn't like that. It was it worked perfectly for the movie.
I mean, even for me, like, I don't mind nudity, but I don't like a lot of it, especially if you can get away with not having it in the movie, then I'm happier more often than not. However, in this movie, there is quite a bit of it, and at times I'm kind of like, is that necessary? But, I don't know, like, yeah, you see, okay, there are boobs. There's full frontal, both sexes. I'm just telling you. I'm going to put it out there for you guys. Full frontal, both sexes, okay? So, although I believe that when you see Ryan Reynolds, it is not real, but I believe the women are real. Okay, so let's just be honest. Like it's, yeah, there's like a whole stripper scene in there, so, and just, yeah. Preparing you, if you haven't seen it yet, you know, I don't want you to be like, oh my gosh, what is happening to this movie? You know, because we don't normally talk about movies on this channel that are like questionable. I mean, all the movies we've done thus far have been, you know, pretty appropriate for most audiences. You know, and all of a sudden here we are doing another one. But it is a Marvel movie and it is geeky, so we decided why not. So you've been warned.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it already. But if you haven't seen it already, like, and you're supposed to go see it, so, like, what were you doing this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, this movie, I just pulled up an article about it. They, let's see here. It has made $135 million this weekend.
And it's still Sunday. When we're taping this, it's still Sunday.
Yeah, so it's expected to make over $150 for the whole holiday weekend, which is including Monday, because of President's Day. And that's amazing for, especially a superhero movie, an R-rated movie, because obviously R-rated movies have limited amount of people that can go to them. You can't, you know, not a lot of people are going to bring kids or teenagers aren't going to be able to get into them, legitimately at least.
Well, let's be real. It is Valentine's Day weekend, and that's one of the reasons why this movie is doing so well, is because it's date movie. And, you know, there are 3 movies this weekend you can go see. You can go see Deadpool, Zoolander 2, or How to Be Single. So, basically, you know, How to Be Single, yeah, I'm sure a lot of girls will go see that movie, but you really want to be honest, all the couples and all, like, the geeky guys are going to go see Deadpool.
Yeah.
You know?
And to be honest, it is a pretty decent date movie. To be honest, there is a romantic storyline to it, and it's not awkward either or anything weird. It fits in very well, and it's really good. It's really well done.
I'm gonna do something I've never done before, and that's actually put the darn false lashes on while we're talking.
First here. On the Deadpool makeup of a movie.
It is. I'm actually using the Ardell. These are the 101 Demi Blacks, so they're really, really fluffy. Really fluffy.
Right.
Yes.
Be careful. This is the Deadpool edition. You know, there could be gore and things flying all over the place.
That is very true. And then if I get really excited on camera and like frustrated about the fact that I can't get these on my eyes, you will see it. Although he might edit it out later, I don't know. But
so another one of the characters that ends up showing up in this movie is a character called Angel Dust.
Right. I had heard of her a little bit, but not a lot. I knew she was showing up. I knew she was kind of hardcore. I know a lot of feminists like her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know anything about her, but she was pretty cool as a character, as she's a bad guy in it. I thought that was really cool. Because a lot of times when you have your bad guys, you have, like, the bad guy, and that's about it. If he has a girl that's with him, she's usually, like, the eye candy, hanging out. Maybe she's just crazy kind of bad guy.
Yeah, maybe.
But no, she's up there. She like jumped out there and was in the middle of it all too. So with trivia with this movie, there is a scene at the end of the credits, as most Marvel movies
yes,
are.
there is.
And I'm not going to say anything about it, but you definitely have to stay and see it, as always. And it seemed like a lot of people in the theater were very much like ready for this, because they did not turn the lights up.
Nobody got up.
Nobody got up. Like, everyone stayed. And so it was a very excellent treat for those that were waiting. I'll say that, though. So.
And if you can get what the reference is to at the end, like right away, you are a true geek. Let me tell you. True geek right there. Because, like, I got it. Like, the second he comes out, I was like, that's awesome. But yes, there are a lot of references to other things in this. Including Ryan Reynolds makes a reference about himself in this movie. Well, actually, Deadpool makes a Ryan Reynolds reference. A couple Ryan Reynolds references, which is awesome. So, like, because he breaks the fourth wall, and that's interesting for this type of movie, because, you know, normally characters don't break the fourth wall.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was the thing, like, a lot of people were worried, because that's what the comic does a lot, is breaking that fourth wall and kind of making fun of itself in the comic book world. And a lot of people were like, are they going to do that in the movie? Is that going to work in the movie? Is it going to be as funny? And it happens a lot in the movie, and it works, and it's hilarious. And I have to say, a lot of credit is due to Ryan Reynolds and his comedic timing. I really don't know anyone else that could have, like, done this role. And I think it was partially given to him because he did the part a little bit in the Wolverine, the Wolverine movie a while back, even though they kind of botched that situation with this character then. She did it. We're all alive. No blood has been shed. So
for the last part of this, I am going to be using the NYX High Voltage Lipstick. This is in the shade Sweet, and it is a newer product. So I'm going to be using that, and that's the last thing I have right now.
Alright, so some of the fun trivia that I found about this. For Deadpool's costume, just went out of frame, sorry. So for Deadpool's costume, they actually had built some muscular undertones under it to kind of accentuate him. That's the right word for that. And so after he got through his training and stuff for the movie, and then they put him in it, it made him look really huge and like Colossus. So they ended up having to like redo his outfit after they had already built the outfits.
Other fun facts?
Yeah, throughout the movie, Deadpool accuses the studio of not having enough money to pay for several elements of the movie.
He did.
In fact, Fox Studios did cut $7 million out of the film's budget at the last minute, necessitating several rewrites. So that was kind of true.
Wow.
But that's what I thought was really funny, too, in this movie, is there's so many, like, making fun of the people that made the movie, the studio, Marvel in general, and things like that. And they didn't care. It seemed like they did not care that they were making fun of all these people.
Yeah.
And I thought that was funny that they were able to keep all that in, and nobody was like, no, you can't put that. You can't say that.
Yeah.
It's all in there, and it's kind of like, oh, they did that. They just said that. All right, one more. You might have heard about it, but last April Fool's, Ryan Reynolds had posted a tweet about how the movie was going to be PG-13, which ended up causing a lot of people to be really mad that were big fans of it, because as you know from the movie being out now, it is not a PG-13 type of movie. No. His character is not PG-13. The comics are not PG-13. So people were livid because they felt like the studio was going to take it and tone it down to make it for kids. And yeah, they ended up having to come back and be like, we're just kidding. Like, that was a big joke. And they only shot the movie in 48 days.
Oh, wow.
That too. Yep.
All right. Well, this is the look for Deadpool. Yeah. And if you like these kind of things, I'm going to put the playlist up above and down below for you so that you can check out all of our makeup and movies. This year we are trying very diligently to make sure that this comes out around the time of the weekend that the movie is released. So hopefully you should be able to find us on Mondays or Tuesdays uploading our new video for that weekend.
Yeah.
Next weekend we are doing the Best Picture Showcase. So we'll be seeing 4 movies on each Saturday. That's 8 movies altogether of Oscar-nominated goodness.
Yes.
And we will see which ones we like the best. So it probably will be a surprise as to which movie we end up picking to do makeup and a movie for from those.
So
yes.
Next Saturday, the movies we'll see is Bridge of Spies, Room, Mad Max, and The Big Short.
And we have already done Mad Max as a makeup and a movie, so it may not be that one.
No. So it'll be Room, Bridge of Spies, or The Big Short.
That will be the first one.
That would be an interesting one.
That would be, yep. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, keep calm.
Stay zany.
Bye.